the two most harmful vitamins that may weaken your legs after 60, and you're probably getting too much of them. Did you know that what you eat could be the real reason behind your aching legs? That's right. Those unexpected cramps, the soreness after a walk, or even that heavy, sluggish feeling in your calves. It might not just be age catching up with you. In fact, many common foods and supplements we consume every day can silently trigger inflammation, block blood flow, or deplete the minerals your muscles need to stay strong and pain-free. And the kicker? You may think you're eating healthy, but a few of these items are cleverly disguised as harmless or even helpful. Welcome to Health Next 365, where we uncover the truth behind everyday choices and how they affect your long-term wellness. In today's video, we're counting down the 5 most surprising foods that could be making your leg pain worse, especially if you're over 40 or managing conditions like arthritis, poor circulation, or nighttime cramps. From sugary snacks to vitamin overloads, we'll explore what the science says, how each item affects your muscles, joints, and nerves. So grab a notepad, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get started. Your legs will thank you. Coming in at number 5 on our list of foods to avoid for healthier, pain-free legs, sugary treats and desserts. We all love a sweet indulgence now and then, a slice of cake on a birthday, a scoop of ice cream on a hot day. But if sugar has become a daily habit instead of an occasional treat, your legs might be paying the price. Let's break down exactly why. When you eat foods high in refined sugar, like candy, pastries, sugary cereals, soda, or even sweetened yogurts, your body experiences a spike in blood sugar followed by a crash. These wild swings are hard on your energy levels, but they're even harder on your muscles, joints, and circulation. You see, sugar contributes directly to a process known as chronic inflammation. It triggers the release of inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers that affect your immune system and cause swelling, stiffness, and discomfort in your joints and muscles. Over time, if this inflammation isn't controlled, it can damage your blood vessels too, and that affects how well oxygen and nutrients reach your legs. And when sugar floods your system too often, it raises levels of something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. These harmful compounds stiffen the tissues in your muscles, blood vessels, and even your skin. Think of it like rust forming inside your body. That's how AGEs work, but inflammation is only part of the problem. Sugary foods also tend to be high in empty calories, meaning they provide lots of energy but little to no actual nutrition. No fiber, no vitamins, no minerals, just sugar. And here's the kicker. Excess sugar in the diet leads to weight gain, especially around the abdomen. That extra weight puts more pressure on your knees, ankles, calves, and feet, increasing your risk for joint pain, leg fatigue, and even plantar fasciitis over time. Every extra pound is like adding extra strain to a bridge. Eventually, something gives. In fact, a study published in the journal Nutrients found that people with diets high in added sugar had elevated markers of inflammation and were more likely to report muscle fatigue and mobility issues, particularly in the legs and lower body. Now, if you're thinking, but what about fruit? Isn't that sugar too? Here's the difference. Whole fruits come packaged with fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients that help your body process natural sugars more slowly and efficiently. A banana or apple won't do the same damage as a soda or a candy bar. In fact, fruits like berries and oranges can help reduce inflammation. So how do you break free from the sugar trap? Start with small swaps. If you're used to a sweet dessert after dinner, try a bowl of berries topped with cinnamon. Want something creamy? Go for unsweetened Greek yogurt and add a drizzle of honey, just a small amount. Craving baked goods? Make your own muffins using mashed bananas or applesauce as a sweetener instead of white sugar. Another tip? Watch your drinks. Sugar hides in coffee creamers, iced teas, flavored waters, energy drinks, and even fruit juices. Try adding a slice of lemon or cucumber to your water instead. or sip on herbal tea with natural fruit flavors, you'll be amazed at how much sugar you cut without realizing it. Now, if you're someone who uses sweets for comfort or stress relief, you're not alone. That habit runs deep. But as you begin to nourish your body with whole foods, balanced meals, and gentle movement, the cravings start to fade. Your body begins to feel better. Your energy returns. And your legs? They'll thank you for every little step toward healing. Now coming in at number 4, fried foods. And this one might hit close to home if crispy snacks or golden brown takeout meals are part of your routine. Fried chicken, French fries, onion rings, fast food sandwiches, donuts. They may be delicious, but what's happening under the surface isn't quite as tasty. These foods are typically cooked in oils that are reused at high temperatures, forming trans fats and oxidized saturated fats in the process. Let's break down why that's bad news for your legs. First, trans fats are one of the most harmful types of fats when it comes to cardiovascular and muscular health. They raise your LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, lower HDL, the good kind, and trigger systemic inflammation, especially in your blood vessels. Now, why does that matter for your legs? Because poor circulation means your muscles and joints don't get enough oxygen and nutrients. And when that happens, your legs feel heavy, tired, stiff, or even painful after regular activities like walking or climbing stairs. In fact, a study published in The Lancet found a significant correlation between diets high in trans fats and increased risk of peripheral artery disease, a condition where arteries supplying blood to your legs narrow and stiffen, leading to leg cramps, numbness, and fatigue. But it's not just trans fats. Excess saturated fat from deep-fried foods like chips, breaded meats, and cheese sticks can cause blood vessels to become less flexible, restricting healthy blood flow and reducing muscle recovery. Over time, that means more soreness, longer recovery periods, and lower endurance. Now, let's talk about weight. Fried foods are extremely calorie-dense. Just a handful of French fries can pack in over 300 to 400 calories. When consumed regularly, these excess calories lead to fat accumulation, particularly around your abdomen and hips, which puts additional pressure on your knees, ankles, and calf muscles. Every step you take with added weight makes leg fatigue worse. Fried foods also contain advanced glycation end products, the same inflammation-causing compounds we talked about in the sugar section. These substances harden tissues, stiffen joints, and reduce flexibility, all enemies of pain-free legs. So how do you cut back? Start by swapping deep-fried foods for air-fried, baked, or grilled versions. Craving chicken? Try oven baking with whole grain breadcrumbs and herbs. Love fries? Slice sweet potatoes. Drizzle lightly with olive oil and roast them. You'll get fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats instead of a mouthful of grease. At restaurants, ask for grilled instead of fried. If you're offered fried sides, opt for a salad, steamed veggies, or even brown rice instead. And if you must enjoy something crispy now and then, be intentional. Make it a treat, not a habit. Limit portion sizes and balance it out with hydration and antioxidant-rich foods like leafy greens or berries. Still with me? Good, because number 3 is hiding in your bread box. And while it may look harmless, it could be zapping your energy and slowing your stride. White bread and refined carbs. Those innocent-looking slices, rolls, and crackers that might be doing more harm than you realize. White bread, white rice, pasta made from refined flour, most baked goods, and even some cereals fall into this category. They're everywhere. Convenient, soft, and tasty. Sure. But behind the scenes, they can silently weaken your legs, increase inflammation, and disrupt your body's ability to stay strong and energized. Let's break it down. Refined carbs are grains that have had their fiber, vitamins, and minerals stripped away during processing. What's left behind is starch, and starch digests quickly. So quickly, in fact, that it causes spikes in blood sugar, similar to eating candy. These spikes might give you a short burst of energy, but they're always followed by a crash, and your muscles feel it. Without fiber to slow digestion, your insulin levels shoot up. Over time, this pattern leads to insulin resistance, which is closely linked to chronic inflammation. And as you've seen so far, inflammation is a key culprit behind muscle pain, joint stiffness, and even nerve sensitivity in your legs. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that people who consumed a diet high in refined carbohydrates had higher levels of inflammatory markers, especially in their lower body. These individuals also reported more frequent muscle cramping and reduced exercise tolerance, particularly during walking or standing for long periods. But that's not all. Refined carbs offer almost no magnesium, potassium, or protein, three of the key nutrients your body needs to support healthy muscle contraction and recovery. Without those, muscles don't heal properly after activity. You may feel more soreness, stiffness, or even wake up with that burning calf sensation, especially at night. Let's also not forget about circulation. Foods high in refined sugar and carbs contribute to plaque buildup in arteries, which narrows blood vessels and slows oxygen delivery. When your legs don't get enough blood flow, they become heavier, more fatigued, and prone to cramping, even with normal daily movement. Now let's talk about a sneaky issue: sodium content. Many store-bought white breads and crackers, even the ones labeled low-fat, are high in added sodium and preservatives. Sodium retention contributes to leg swelling, poor hydration balance, and extra tension in your muscles. So how do you fix this? Make whole grains your new go-to. Swap white bread for 100% whole wheat or sprouted grain bread. Switch out white rice for brown rice, quinoa, millet, or bulgur, all of which offer more fiber, protein, and key minerals that benefit your legs. Even your snacks can be upgraded. Instead of white crackers or flour tortillas, try whole grain wraps, rice cakes, or even roasted chickpeas for crunch. Breakfast cereal? Choose steel-cut oats or brand-based options with no added sugar. If you're baking at home, replace part of your white flour with almond flour, oat flour, or flaxseed meal, all of which pack nutrients and support better muscle health. And remember, fiber doesn't just help you stay full. It also regulates blood sugar, supports healthy gut bacteria, and keeps inflammation in check throughout your body, including your legs. Coming up next, number 2 is one that often shows up at parties, weekend dinners, or even in your relax and unwind routine. But it's doing more than relaxing you. It could be dehydrating and damaging your muscles at the same time. Alcoholic beverages. Yes, even that evening glass of wine or weekend beer might be silently working against your leg health. Now, don't get us wrong. We're not here to say you can never enjoy a drink. But when alcohol becomes a regular part of your lifestyle, it can have a compounding effect on your body, especially your muscles, nerves, and circulation. Let's start with a key problem: dehydration. Alcohol is a diuretic, meaning it makes your body lose more water through urination. When you're dehydrated, your muscles don't function properly. They tighten, they cramp, they fatigue faster. In fact, muscle cramps at night, especially in the legs, are a common symptom of low hydration and electrolyte imbalance triggered by alcohol. Next, alcohol depletes key nutrients. Your body needs magnesium, potassium, vitamin B1, thiamine, and even calcium to maintain muscle tone and nerve communication. But alcohol flushes these out of your system, sometimes in just a few hours after drinking. Without them, the signals between your nerves and leg muscles weaken, increasing your risk of twitching, tingling, and full-on cramps. A 2020 study published in the journal Substance Use and Misuse found that frequent alcohol consumption was associated with increased neuromuscular issues, including delayed recovery from exercise and higher incidence of nighttime muscle spasms. But that's not all. Heavy alcohol use can damage skeletal muscle fibers directly, a condition known as alcoholic myopathy. Over time, This weakens the legs and reduces endurance, even in people who otherwise appear healthy. Alcohol increases the production of inflammatory cytokines in the body, especially when consumed regularly. Inflammation affects your arteries, joints, and connective tissue, including the muscles that support walking and standing. So, what's the takeaway? You don't have to give up alcohol entirely, but moderation is key. And if you're struggling with recurring leg pain or cramps, it's worth tracking your intake to see if there's a pattern. Stay hydrated before, during, and after drinking. Replenish electrolytes with foods rich in magnesium and potassium, like bananas, leafy greens, or a smoothie with coconut water. Eat when you drink, especially protein and healthy fats, which slow alcohol absorption and help reduce nutrient depletion. Consider mocktails or low-alcohol options, and always alternate with water. Coming up next, the number one worst offender for your legs, a food that's part of many lunches and breakfasts, but hides a dangerous mix of sodium, fat, and chemical preservatives. Let's talk about processed meats, like bacon, sausage, deli ham, hot dogs, and cured salami. Convenient? Yes. Delicious? Often. But healthy for your legs? Absolutely not. Processed meats are loaded with preservatives, sodium, and often saturated fat. A triple threat when it comes to inflammation, circulation, and muscular function. First, let's talk about sodium. One slice of deli turkey can contain up to 400 milligrams of sodium, and a small serving of bacon may have 500 milligrams or more. That's a huge hit, especially if you're eating multiple servings a day. High sodium intake can lead to fluid retention, causing your legs and ankles to swell, making them feel tight, heavy, and stiff. This excess fluid also raises your blood pressure, putting added strain on your arteries and reducing how effectively your legs receive oxygen and nutrients. Next is nitrate and nitrite preservatives, commonly used to keep these meats looking pink and staying fresh for longer. While these chemicals may preserve the food, they don't preserve your health. Studies show they contribute to oxidative stress, which can weaken blood vessel walls and accelerate nerve damage over time. On top of that, these meats are high in saturated fat, which can clog arteries and trigger systemic inflammation. This combination affects everything from your hip joints to your toes, especially if you're already dealing with joint pain, arthritis, or reduced mobility. And it gets worse for seniors. As we age, our muscle mass naturally declines. Protein becomes more important, but only when it comes from high-quality, lean sources. Processed meat offers low-quality protein that's often harder to digest and loaded with inflammatory compounds that can delay healing and worsen leg function. So what's the alternative? Choose lean, fresh proteins like grilled chicken, turkey breast, eggs, beans, or tofu. Look for low-sodium, nitrate-free deli meats if you need convenience, and still eat them in moderation. Boost meals with anti-inflammatory side dishes like greens, tomatoes, or avocado to help buffer some of the harmful effects and stay hydrated. Water helps flush excess sodium and reduce leg swelling. So there you have it. 5 everyday foods that might be sneaking into your routine and quietly sabotaging your leg health after 60. It's not just about what's obvious. Even small dietary choices can affect how stable you feel on your feet, how quickly your muscles bounce back from strain, and how well your circulation supports recovery. And the best part? You have control. Simple changes, like swapping a heavily processed snack for a piece of fruit, or choosing a low-sodium option, can lead to long-term benefits for your joints, muscles, and energy. Strong legs are your foundation, not just for walking, but for living fully. If you found value in this video, give it a like to show your support. Got a question about your diet or mobility? Drop it in the comments. I'm here to guide you. And don't forget to subscribe to Health Next 365 for weekly health tips that empower you to age with strength and confidence. Take that next step. Your legs will thank you. See you in the next one.